Hello, divine woman. It's been a little while since we've connected. I miss you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. I'm very excited to dive on into your world today, post soul to soul. Listen, before I keep talking, let's introduce you first. So, this is gorgeous Kimberly Paulig. Um,
Hi.
Tell us just a little bit, where you're from, what you do, all that good stuff.
Okay, I'm Kimberly. I live in San Francisco. I'm a nurse, but I'm working on becoming a life coach after Soul to Soul.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
And
and
hello,
I'm 31.
spring chicken. A spring chicken. Okay. Someone's drinking the Kool-Aid over here. No, it's just coconut water, actually.
I thought it was like one of those apple juice boxes.
Oh, I could do some apple juice. No, this is really, really good organic coconut water from Trader Joe's. Anyway, that was a little plug for my favourite supermarket. So let's dive on in, Kimberly. We're going to get to all the good stuff, but can you remember what it was like when we had our first breakthrough call? I
Yes,
can remember it.
yes, I do remember. I didn't know I didn't even like know what was going on. I was on Facebook and I clicked on the link and I watched the
Masterclass.
master class, and then it was just like sign up, and I was like, okay, and I'm just not even thinking about it, just doing it.
Yeah.
And then I got on a phone call with you and I was just like, okay, like what is going on? Because there was just so much that I didn't realize that I was just holding down and not dealing with, and that really came up on that call.
Yeah, it did. You were like a very cute little timid mouse that wanted to run on the call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember thinking, should I invite her in? Because I'm very deliberate about who I invite in because it's not for everyone. But there was something in you, even in that scared little timid voice, that when I was asking the deep questions, you were responding. Like you allowed me to take you there, even though it was really uncomfortable, which is a huge part of it. And then what happened when when I invited you in?
I basically just gave you the deposit just to get you off the phone.
I thought till this day that you were joking. I was like, I'm serious. I said to my husband, I just had the most sweetest girl. I said, she's going to be amazing. She's going to come out of this shell. She's just a powerhouse. And I said, I wonder if she just like the phone, like we're joking about it. Because I was not pushing you to do it, but I was pushing you to go deep. But I knew that I would have stopped if you couldn't handle it. But there was something in you that was ready as well. So then you actually paid me a deposit to get me off the phone. Okay, that's it. And then what happened? So we then got on another call.
I
And I
got on another call.
remember it vividly, and you had probably your own little pitch of how you were going to get out of it, right?
I think I planned on getting out of it. Yeah, and then after the call, I didn't. It was just it was new to me to just talk about my feelings, and really all of this that was coming up was just foreign.
See, I love that you're sharing this because this is really what it's like for a lot of people. It actually can be very confronting. I always say at the beginning of my calls, this is not going to be some little tea party with scones, right? This is real deal. Like, let's just see what's going on, and it's going to not just tickle, it's going to almost be like a little bit of a punch to the gut, right? I mean, I'm loving, but it's like, let's really look at what the hell's holding you back. And so I really just love that you're sharing that truth around the fact that you really didn't know what was hitting you. You kind of were like, hang on a minute, I was just clicking on an ad 1 minute. Now I'm doing this program.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt?
It's definitely how I felt. But I also felt like it was meant to be. Like
Mm.
I was supposed to be there.
Yeah, because once you came in, you jumped in with both feet. Like you were 100% committed, which is why I invited you in. I could see through the timidness. I was like, nah, there is a force of nature inside of this woman. And so tell us then, when you first came, like, what was it for you that wasn't working in your life? Like, where were you at in the first place to even book a call?
I was in a place where I had stopped drinking like a year ago, and I'd lost a lot of friends, and I was definitely at a place where I was looking for sisterhood. I was looking for, just people to really talk to, and not just like, just really like real conversations, and really be able to open up, because also been really difficult for me, is opening up. So it was really, really wonderful to have that support and to be able to open up to these women.
Who really saw you, right? There was,
Yeah.
and the way that you supported them as well. I mean, you had a really significant voice in there. And this was the irony that was one of the biggest things we needed to open up. Even just vocally, it was like, come on, Kimberly, like, stop, you're swallowing your words. And this comes up a lot in Soul to Soul, because we that's just a way of being that develops when we're feeling like our voice isn't worthy, and that, whatever we're saying doesn't matter. And it's like, so not true. But after years of conditioning, if we're not getting what we need from mum or dad, it's like we do put a lid on and we do stifle ourselves. So what was the experience like for you initially? When you jumped in, was it scary? Was it exciting?
Both. Definitely scary and exciting. Just because we have to do these, like, we have to do Facebook Lives, and just getting out there and just talking, it definitely was scary. But then it was like, just towards the end, it was just natural. It was normal. It was great.
You as well before the end. You were rocking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the truth, is that what makes this different to other programs is that it's not some online program that you're left to your own devices, right? As Kimberly's saying, like, you're out of your comfort zone. You have to share. You have to activate the teachings. Otherwise, it's just more information, right? Where you just go online and you just absorb all this information, and that's intellectually. Whereas watching you really started to ingest the learnings, and then you just started to come out and blossom like this beautiful flower. So it was amazing to watch your trajectory, Kimberly. Could you just take us through what it was really like for you?
Well, I think one of the biggest things was finding my voice and being able to talk more and talk about my emotions and really release everything. And one of the big things that came out of Soul to Soul for me is I had no idea that I had so much anger with my mother. I had no idea. And that I was really able to figure that out and really release that and forgive her. And that's been life-changing for me and for my relationship with her. That's probably one of the biggest things that I got out of Soul Soul, which is amazing. Being able to, change the relationship with my mother.
It's huge. And it's amazing that you mentioned that, because I get on the phone with people that are like, yeah, I've done the work around my anger, or I've done the work with my mother, or I've done the work with my little girl. I'm like, so why are we on the phone? Because just because and this is the trap, so I'm so glad you're bringing this up, that just because we've done something does not mean that it's been transformed. And what I love about you sharing this is you're like, this has changed the whole dynamic. You didn't just go in and deal with it, right? Like, as in just approach this topic. You went and actually dealt with it head on. And that, mother figure is the feminine. And so it's amazing that you may not think, just those of you watching this, that you may not think that, your mom or your dad has anything to do with how you're showing up in relationships. But it's got everything to do with it, because if we're not getting the nurturing and the support and that love, even though our parents are great parents, sorry, there's someone at the door. Hold on a second. My goodness, neighbor again. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I'm on a call. I'm recording. Stevie. Come on. Sorry, I'm going to slam it. I don't know what it is. Every time I do a testimonial, my neighbor just wants to come and say hi. Anyway, okay. So anyway, but what's interesting, that was a woman that appeared at my door just as we're talking about the feminine. So it's interesting. And she has mother issues, so that's fair. I know, because it's just like, but I'm really glad you're bringing this up, because it just gives context, right? It's like, yes, of course our parents are trying to do the best that they can. It's not like we're here going, oh, I want to blame someone, but we cannot ignore where we come into the world from, which is, the mother and the father figure. And if we don't heal that, essentially our little girl is running our life in our 30s and our 40s. And that's what's showing up. That's where we get needy. That's where we get obsessive. That's where we are acting out of our lower self. So Kimberly, like what you just mentioned, is why you've had such enormous growth, because you got to come home to your woman and your divine feminine, which looks amazing on you, by the way. And this is the thing, though, now that you're, and we're going to get to this in a minute about what you discovered about your purpose. But it's like, this is going to make you an amazing coach because you're going to be teaching from the heart now, not from these ideas. So that just really excites me, to know that you're being unleashed into the world to go and make such a difference for people, with your own voice, right, which is what you've just activated, and the fact that you've done your own deep healing so you can hold this space now. Like, I know girls, you watching this might be thinking, how is this relevant to attracting a soulmate? But it's incredibly relevant because you can't attract in that healthy, dynamic relationship with someone until you've got that healthy, dynamic relationship with yourself. So that's just bringing it back. So Kimberly, tell us more about that. You said that you touched on suddenly coming, you're a nurse and now you're going down this different path. Like, what happened?
Yeah, in Soul to Soul, I realized that, nursing is wonderful, but it's not fulfilling my purpose. I feel like there's so much more. I can help people. I can help people who, have struggles, same struggles that I've been on with my mother, and there's just so much more. And I know that I'm still going to nurse, but I also know that there's more for me. There's more. I can help women. I want to help teens as well. Really, really go. That was like the hardest part. I think they, have issues with their parents and they don't have someone to look up to. And there's just so much there that I want to be able to help with.
I love that. So you got connected to, and this happens a lot in Soul to Soul, by the way. I always say the quickest way, if you want the shortcut, right? Who's ready for the shortcut to meet your soulmate? I love that. Who's ready? We've got people with us, but essentially we do, because you'll be watching this. But the quickest way to attract your soulmate is to get on purpose and to be all of you. Because when you are, I always say we attract who we are. So when you're just busy, like going, oh yeah, I can grab this and I can do that, and and really light yourself up, then you're going to attract someone in from a place of fullness. So it's like, of course you found your purpose in the middle of Soul to Soul, like, because you were playing full out, and you just went so deep. You took on all the deep teachings, and now you're in a very different place. So if you go back to where you were, how would you say that you really, what would you say you felt like pre-Soul to Soul in a nutshell?
I think I was just pretending to be okay. I was just pretending that everything was fine, and it wasn't. But I was just pretending like everything was all right, and just, like, I'm fine. I think I even told you on the call, like, I'm great. Like, I'm fine. You're like,
and then you cried.
Yeah, and then I cried. Yeah. So,
because that's our cover. That's the thing that keeps us safe. Love isn't for the faint-hearted. To be in love and to let love in, we've got to open our heart. We've got to keep it open. And we've got to know thyself. You can't be attracting in love from a scared place, hoping that someone's not going to hurt you. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. That's fear-based. It's lack-based. And that's not what a queen's energy is like, right? You know the difference between the little girl energy and the queen energy. So how do you feel now that you've really moved into so much more of who Kimberly is? How do you feel within yourself?
Amazing. And more feminine, and just more excited about life and about everything.
I mean, you didn't see Kimberly before, so you can take my word for it. But you had to, and it's interesting, but you know what? I could feel that something in her was ready, because she wasn't really giving me much initially. And then I just felt like her soul was like, no, hang on, like, lead me. And then with a little bit of leading, suddenly I was like, oh, wow. In the middle of Soul to Soul, I was just like, wow, she's exactly who I thought she was. She's a leader. She's someone who's going to make a big difference. She's got a world view. And it was just so amazing to see that piece by piece, where you started to get the pieces of the puzzle. You're like, well, hang on a minute, I am really amazing, and hang on, I can make a difference, and I have a voice. And it was just so, because it doesn't happen all at once. It's very much just, we take 3 steps forward, back in Soul to Soul, 4 steps forward, right? It's not this nice little sisterhood. It's not, right? If there's someone that's really thinking about joining Soul to Soul or having a conversation about it, what would you tell them the experience was like? How would
it's work. It is work, but it's
Yeah.
100% worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You have to
yeah, you go.
really like get into your emotions and just get through your past and like look at everything, and that can be work for sure and very scary, but it's so worth it to come out on the other side.
Yeah, because what else had you tried before this?
I had just like read a bunch of books and meditating and like, but nothing like putting the work in.
Yeah.
It was more just
Yeah,
learning the tools, not actually using the tools.
that's right. That's one of the biggest things is that, I attract such amazing women and bright, intelligent women. I'm inspired by all the women, including you, that come through this program. Like, they're epic and they're handpicked. That's why everyone's like, wow, they're such amazing women. I'm like, yeah, because not everyone's ready for this, but the ones that are, it's like, you got to play full out, because I do not carry people because that's enabling. So you've really got to come in and really take up space, and it's a co-creation, right? It's not like I do the work for you or I teach you learn. It's this beautiful co-creation where you're being pushed out of your comfort zone the whole way. Otherwise, it's like there is no point in being there, because we don't make significant change in our comfort zone. Transformation isn't this gentle, nice, like kumbaya, let's just have green juice and meditate. It doesn't change anything. So far too many people are like, well, I meditate and do yoga and I eat really healthily. It's like, that's cool outwardly, and obviously inwardly too, but it doesn't change anything from the past. It's not doing the deep healing. I'm a big advocate of meditation. So for anyone listening, it's like, yes, keep doing that. But if you want the express train and you want the jet fuel, you get the right support from a mentor, from an expert who's actually walked the path. That's the other thing. Like, what appealed to you about actually doing this work with me?
Well, for one, you shook me and was like, made me, really see things that I've never, even on that call, I was able to like, I think maybe the thing with my mom, but I was just able to just be like, wow, like she, in an hour call, maybe a little longer, was able to like rattle me and like made me realize that there is something wrong here. Yeah. And then and then just talking to you, I think even on the next call, I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. And after talking to you, I was like, okay, all right, I can do this.
You can do it.
Yeah.
With that, and that's so powerful that you trusted yourself, because it's so much easier to say no and to stay safe and to be like, oh, well, that was probably just some scam, or I don't even know her. It's very, very easy and also very tempting to do that with, the nature of the fact that there's so many courses out there, and especially online. I'm very present to the fact that a lot of people that come to me have been burnt. I get that question a lot, like, you sure you're not a scam? And it's like, absolutely not. I'm absolutely not a scam. I have very, very good business. But I also know that, and that's also what shows up in relationships, is not trusting men, not trusting the process. So it's really interesting what comes up. But I just want to acknowledge you for the fact that there was something in your heart, because it didn't come from your head. There was something in your heart that was like, I'm jiving with this. Because it probably felt scary at the time, did it?
Definitely scary.
Was there anything that nearly stopped you?
Oh, I'm I don't know specifically, but I definitely like almost didn't do it. It was, just those emotions coming up for me that I wasn't used to coming up, was very like, like I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all.
Yes.
But it was so worth it. So worth it. They needed to come up.
Well, they did. And just the way that you are in your skin right now, Kimberly, the way that you're just at ease in your body and in the way that you're speaking, it's just a completely different Kimberly. It's the Kimberly that was always inside of you, but I can see you, I can feel you, and you just have this beautiful grounded energy that, my goodness, I'll be sending people to you left and right. So when you get set up, I want to hear where you're at and exactly who I can send your way, because I'm really excited to see your journey unfold. So keep in touch. And what would you say to other soul sisters now who know that there's something there, right? They're sort of like you. They know that there's something internally that they need to deal with, but it feels really scary to actually approach it and deal with it. What would you say to those soul sisters?
that it is scary, but it's so worth it. You have to get through the fear to come out on the other side. And you definitely need someone to help you do it. It's not going to be in a book. It's
Yes.
not, you really need someone to help you through the process where you put in work and have the sisterhood, and everything is in Soul to Soul. It's like bottled up everything that you need to get on the other side.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kimberly. If people want to reach out to you, are you okay if they drop you a line just to
Yeah,
talk about your experience?
of course.
Amazing. And I'm just thinking, oh yeah, so how do you feel now about your soulmate and love and being in a relationship and all that good stuff? Like, what's changed for you in that area?
I think that I was coming from a place of need.
Yeah.
And now I know that it's going to happen at the right time. And I'm just focusing on starting my business and doing things that I love and dancing. And I know that whenever it's the right moment, it will happen.
Yeah. And how do you feel just from the work that we did around really magnetizing him in? Like, is there a level of certainty that wasn't there before? Like,
Oh,
what?
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming. For sure.
Yeah. But what I'm getting is you're not worried about that.
Oh, no, I'm not worried. I know that my soulmate is going to come at the right time.
That's so beautiful. Because this is the thing, is it's like we want it now. It's like it's got to happen. And that's when we go out and get into the wrong relationship. The energy you're in right now is like, it is magnetic because it's full. It's whole. It's like you're in your Kimberly essence. And girls, beautiful women watching this, not girls. This right here, I'm telling you, is where you want to be, just lit by your own life, really in your skin, like sitting down in your femininity. And your sensuality too, Kimberly, that's shining through as well. We can't be out there in the world misrepresenting who we really are by wearing our fear and wearing our not enoughness and expect that love's just going to happen for us. It doesn't. We just attract in broken people. We just attract in, guys that cheat on us because we are not rock solid in who we are. So I am loving the shit out of where you are right now. I'm so happy to see you again. It's been too long, although you're in the graduate group, so I do see you in there. But yeah, Kimberly, keep rocking, girlfriend. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience with us.
Of course. And thank you for everything.
My absolute pleasure. It's just been an honor. And you're one of your, let's say one of your calls, because we did two. That first call, I'll never forget. I was actually sitting at this table. And at one point I was like, oh gosh, I think I'm being too tough on her. Because I was like, yeah, I've just really got to go. I've really got to go. And I'm Kimberly, for the love of God, this is your life. And you're like, yeah, I know, but I've got to go. I'm like, you can't hide, sister. So, yeah, I'm so pleased that you actually followed through for yourself, because it's paid off.
Me too.
Yeah. What's the number one thing that you'd say that you really got from it? If you just were to say one thing, is it an energy? Is it like, what is it?
Definitely an energy. Just, I don't know the right word, but it was everything. Like, just not coming from fear anymore, and just knowing that everything is gonna work out, and just really that I worked on my past. Just knowing where I am is where I'm supposed to be.
That is epic. Some people don't even get that in a lifetime. And you can rest assured that now that you're so on purpose with you, that because you are in such different energy, you're going to be attracting in an incredible caliber of man. So keep us updated, and
I will.
tons and tons of love. Mwah!
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly. Adore you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.